Okay, so everyone can see here that I chose an appropriate song to walk up to. That was "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. And most people here are touched by heart disease. And most people know, if they're touched by heart disease, that they are lucky to be alive. But there's one other reason I chose that song to walk up to, and I'm going to let everybody know the real reason why I'm doing my speech. Good evening, let me introduce myself. My name is Powell. I'm 38 years old. First off, I'd like to thank the American Heart Association and everybody else for coming here tonight for the 48th Annual Heart Ball. I'd like to thank Michelle Grabat and her team for a nice round of applause. Great job. I know most people are looking at me saying, why is this 38-year-old person standing up in front of us talking about heart disease? Well, I know a lot about heart disease, actually. My dad, when he was 37, the same age as me, had his first heart attack, and he's here today. After his first heart attack, he had triple bypass surgery, and that was back in the 80s. My dad had his second triple bypass a couple years later, and he soon later, a couple months ago in 2009, about a year ago in 2009, had his third bypass surgery. This time was a double bypass. And the technology and the advancements that we've made in heart surgery are just amazing. I remember when they first cut you all the way from the top of your neck here all the way down to your belly button. That's why I remember when my dad had his first surgery. His last surgery, 5-inch incision in the back, bypass done, a couple days you're out of the hospital. Unbelievable. Now, I'm going to let everybody know, has anybody in this room had more than 7 bypasses? Please raise your hand. Anyone? Anyone? I did. I had 8 bypasses. 8. Yes, 8. And I'm still here today. I'm still exercising. I'm still running. I had 8 bypasses. Thank you. And for all the technical people here, the surgeons, the doctors, the nurses, this is what I had done. Now I'm going to read it. Hopefully it all comes out right, because I have no idea what this means. But I think this will be important. I had the left anterior descending artery, the diagonal, the obtuse marginal, 1, 2, and 3, the posterior descending, posterior lateral, and acute marginal. So I had a full 8 bypasses. I'm not sure if I can ever thank everyone that had a hand in my surgery, but that is why I chose to give my time to the American Heart Association. With this family, I had my family of heart disease. I always felt that I took proper precautions. In high school, I played baseball. I ran 1.5 miles, 2 miles every day. I was on the swimming team. I swam 1 mile every day. And in college, I did great. I was running. I was playing basketball. I was doing everything I could do to keep myself in shape. Soon I graduated college, Hofstra University in 1994. I went on to a new career with the New York City Police Department, and I went to the NYPD Police Academy. And I was running 2 miles every day just to qualify to get out of the police academy. I felt great. I led a very active lifestyle. Of course, I felt some bad habits like everyone. Went out to eat dinner a little too much, ran here, ran there, ate this on the run, and some bad lifestyle changes. Well, the exercise I enjoyed in my young years took a back seat, and I got married and had 2 kids. My lovely wife Sarah's here. And I was put on blood pressure medicine and cholesterol medicine. That was a sign that maybe something's wrong. But I ignored those signs. I wanted to make a change in March of 2009. I began to take up running. I ran for 7 months straight, 2 miles to 3 miles every other day. I missed 1 day in the 7 months. I lost 47 pounds. I was trim as can be, as fit as can be. 47 pounds. But my knees started hurting, so I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break. 1 week led to 2 weeks, 2 weeks led to 3 weeks, 3 weeks led to 3.5 months. December 22nd, 2009, I got on the treadmill to get some exercise in. And I got no more than 2 minutes on the treadmill, a slow walk, 2.5 miles an hour, which is like how you walk in the mall. And I was out of breath, shortness of breath, a little tightness in the chest. I'm 37 years old at this point. There's no way. There's nothing happened to me. It was during the holiday season. Maybe I ate something that didn't agree with me. I had some indigestion, some heartburn. So I gave it a break. And on December 28, 2009, I tried again. Same problem. I had really bad heartburn. Once again, I almost ignored all the warning signs. Well, I went to my cardiac doctor, my cardiologist, and he says, listen, you better get to the ER. Well, I went to the ER. The heartburn was so overwhelming on the way. I took Pepsid AC. Didn't work. And when I got to ER, I called my dad and I called my wife, Sarah, and I said, listen, you better come down. There's something wrong. In those few hours, my mind started racing. The next warning sign I became very nauseous. I had pins and needles down both my arms, like someone was sticking needles in there, and then they just went numb. Became very nauseous, very dizzy, and I knew something was wrong. It had to be more. I was thinking that maybe I had an ulcer, bad indigestion, but you know what? Another warning sign that I ignored. A few hours passed, the ER doctor came to me and said, "Yep, you suffered your first heart attack." The first thought I had was of my kids, my wife, my kids, me and Evan. I wasn't ready to leave them yet. I needed to see my children grow up. I was only 37 years old, and there was so much more to do and see. Sorry. In the next couple of hours actually, the doctor came in and said you have a catheterization the next day. So I had the catheterization performed the next day. The doctor told me, I remember laying on the table in and out of consciousness after catheterization, and the doctor said, "Alan, you need open heart surgery, we'll see you tomorrow." And I was in and out of consciousness, I wasn't sure really what was going on. I remember laying on the table looking up and saying, "Doc, there's no way, just throw the stents in, I'm out of here. Put the stents in, I'm good to go. I'm young, I'm healthy, I can make it." He said, "Nope, sorry, see you tomorrow." Well, that night was the scariest part of my entire life. I don't know how I made it. I've run into burning buildings, rescued people out of my police department job. I've chased people with guns. I've seen people killed with drunk drivers right in front of my eyes. I've seen it all that comes with the NYPD. But this was very scary. Facing surgery the next day. Nothing compared to it. I was nervous, I was scared, I was in and out of consciousness that night. And finally the doctor came, called up, said, "Give him some medication." I fell asleep. Well, the next morning I woke up, first thing in the morning, the doctor squeezed me in. And I remember seeing my mom, my dad, and my wife, and that was the last three people I saw, and I was wheeled into the operating room, the OR. And this is an interesting story. They wheeled me in, and I was on my bed, and then they said, "Okay, we're going to lift you over to the gurney to the operating room." And when I lifted up my head, I saw maybe 5 feet from me a table that was like this big. And on this table were the shiniest stainless steel scissors and all these kind of shiny things. I mean, scalpels, scissors. I mean, that was the last thing I remember. I was that right there. I think I just scared myself right into unconsciousness state. Well, I woke up a couple hours later, and they said, the doctor leaned over to me. I said, "Okay, Alan, you're all clear." And I said, "What do you mean by all clear? What's that mean?" He says, "You're all good. I completed 8 bypasses." I said, "What? 8 bypasses?" I'm thinking to myself, was this even possible? 8 bypasses? I thought there was only 4 main arteries. I'm no doctor or anything, but the 8 bypasses? That can't be. Something's got to be wrong here. Maybe they gave me too much medicine. Well, 8 bypasses, it was no joke. It was a full 8 bypasses. Today I'm still shocked that this happened to me. And it's family genes. Please, everybody in this room, please, if you have heart disease in your family, and you're on medicine, and you have tightness in your chest, or any symptoms, please get to a cardiologist, get to your doctor. Please, get checked out. This is the most important thing you can do. Whoever thought at the age of 37 years of age that I would have my first heart attack and then lose half my heart because of the heart attack? This didn't have to happen. All the warning signs were there, but I just ignored them. So make sure you get to your doctors. Make sure if these are the warning signs, you get to it. Tell you I'm happy. I wake up every morning and say thank you. And I wanted to say thank you to Dr. Asgharian. Dr. Asgharian, can you raise your hand? There's the man. 8 bypasses. Thank you. And not only did the 8 bypasses on me, he did 2 bypasses on my dad 2 months prior. So that's the man who saved my life. Thank him. Not only would I like to thank him, I'd like to thank every single doctor, cardiologist, nurse, anybody in the heart field in this whole room with a good round of applause. Thank you, everyone. Now, when I chose the song "Staying Alive" to come up to with the band playing and start my speech, I did this to save someone's life. I saw an amazing tweet forwarded by my close friend Rob Basso, who's here tonight, who helped also promote this event. I was so intrigued by this tweet, it just blew my mind. I had to call him up. I said, "Rob, where did you find this amazing tweet that's going to save people's lives?" And he said, "Listen, I got it from the American Heart Association," as they were helping promote the event. So please, everybody, just pay attention to what I'm going to say for the next 30 seconds. Because if you didn't learn anything tonight, this is the most important thing. I'm going to read the tweet. The tweet said, "The most effective rate for chest compressions is greater than 100 compressions per minute, which is the same rhythm and beat of the Bee Gees song, 'Staying Alive.'" Please, if you didn't hear anything tonight, that is the most important thing.